Alrighty, what is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another video today. We're gonna be live reacting to the Colts game, and man, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? I mean, we're really finding new ways to lose and to have Deshaun Watson lose games because this was not his fault whatsoever. That's the first thing I want to talk about. I do not want to hear the Deshaun Watson slander. I don't want to hear that, oh, he could have caught the snap, he could have fell on the ball, he could have grabbed it. No. He had this team, he had this offense on his back all damn day long without his wide receivers, without Fuller, without Cobb, without Stills, without Cooks for a part of the time. Like, he's making Kiki QT and Chad Hansen look like Hall of Famers. 100-yard games. Get more of that later, but this game is not on Deshaun whatsoever. This game is on the interior of the offensive line and Nick freaking Martin. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How much do we pay this? We have $11 million a year. He is a top 5 paid center, and he can't snap the ball. What are you doing in practice? What are you doing when you're training over the offseason? He's got his home gym. All Texans organization is hyping up for that. Oh, look at his work ethic. He's such a great worker. He's going to improve. This man has not improved. This man has regressed, and he can't even snap the ball anymore. We got to also talk about Mike Devlin. What the hell are you doing to this offensive line if you can't snap the ball? The entire interior of the offensive line struggled. Max Sharping struggled in the beginning. He got pulled for Clemente. Zach Fulton couldn't block a single damn person on the entire field. He still can't pick up a stunt after, 8 years in his career? I don't. And Nick Martin is a complete negative in the run game. He can't block anyone. He can't snap the ball. Like, I don't know what we're paying these guys to do. It's not to play football, that's for sure. So the interior of the offensive line, that was kind of a big reason for me why we lost. And especially with the offense, like, we saw how great it can be in the first half. We saw how great Deshaun Watson can be when he's scrambling. He was avoiding all these Colts defenders. Like, the Colts should have had 10 sacks on the day. Like, they were destroying off the line. But I'm lagging. Oh no. Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi not the greatest, but we'll see. What was I saying? Yeah, the offensive line was horrible. The Colts should have had 10 sacks, but Deshaun, his escapability of the pocket is great. It's really great. It's elite. And the thing is that as great as those are, and he'll make a lot of great plays, is that you can only depend on it for so long. You cannot expect him to play that way the entire damn game. The sacks are going to come. And so the offensive line needs to be more consistent. And that's why we saw a tale of two halves. The first half put up 20 points. Everything was looking great. Second half, 0 points. 0 points. We can't keep depending on that. What else? The defense was still horrible. I think the whole Nick Martin situation kind of masked the fact that the defense was still bad. They weren't as bad as we've seen them. They still got some stops when they needed to. JJ played well. Cunningham played well for parts. Adams played well. But the cornerbacks, obviously the cornerbacks are getting toasted. T.Y. Hilton, yeah, energy is his home. We get it. Of course he's going to go off. Hope he played him in fantasy. Oh my God, what else? Let's talk about Deshaun Watson and maybe the positives of this game, which is Deshaun Watson, which is Kiki QT, and which is Chad Hansen. We can dwell on the negatives all day, and we're in pain. I get it, but at the end of the day, we did see some positives out of those guys. I think it will really make the wide receiver situation interesting for next year because we don't know what's going to happen with Will Fuller. Deshaun Watson wants him back, and we should listen to Deshaun Watson. We should re-sign him. I would give him a short deal because of his whole injury history, and he hasn't played full season yet. So I'd give him a short deal. But then Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, what are we going to do? We can't be paying that much money to these wide receivers. And Kiki QT and Chad Hansen, if they continue to play this way for the rest of the season, if they continue to show up like that, you might have 2 cheaper replacements there. You might have that. And that would be amazing. Answer some questions in the meantime. Thoughts on the return of David Johnson? David Johnson's trash. Plain and simple. Yeah, he can run behind an offensive line when they open up lanes for him, but he can't do anything. He can't add any extra yards. I think the run game is a good thing to kind of talk about right now is I think David Johnson is a great lesson that getting a shiny new running back over the offseason isn't just going to fix an entire run game's issues. This run game had a lot of issues. They've got issues starting with the offensive line that we need to get new players in there, and we need to get a new offensive line coach because their fundamentals are just horrible and they can't open up the lanes. We need to do that, and need to, with the new head coach coming in, we're going to change the running scheme so that we're not so predictable every damn time. Like, all of us fans can call when there's going to be a run. And so if we know, you damn know that defense is now. All right, I've gotten that I'm lagging quite a few times now. I'm going to... can you guys, like, understand what I'm saying? Or is it just, like, horrible? I want to say that. I want to say this. Why won't it show up? I want to say this, but I don't want to get demonetized. Thoughts on Fulton at center? All right, I got you, Paul. Paul, if you check out the Texans Unfiltered Instagram, you'll see what great work that Paul Hamlin is putting in for us. Great intern for us. Appreciate you. But thoughts on Fulton at center? I think Fulton's trash anywhere you put him. I think the problems that he has, he's got slow feet. He's got a bad punch. He's not strong. And I think those problems are going to show up at right guard just as much as they're going to show up at center. And so I don't want Fulton playing anywhere on this football team. It makes sense to try and swap him and Nick Martin at center and right guard. Try it out. Sure, go for it. But keep it on a short leash and don't depend on that going into the next season. That's what I would say. Okay, wait, let me do. Okay, Nick is bad. Nick is horrible. Nick's trash. Nick is everything I could possibly say without getting demonetized. Nick is absolutely horrible. He's bad. Jesus Christ. Hit that like button. Yeah, John Abram, he knows what's up. He knows what's up. Hit the button, subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel. Check out Texans Unfiltered YouTube channel, the website, the podcast, everything, all that great stuff. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Father Griffin, great Texans Thoughts team member. You got the question? I got you. Kenny Weaver, worth keeping around for next season. I wouldn't mind seeing what he could do with better corners. I wouldn't keep him around as defensive coordinator. No. If you want to keep him in the building as an assistant, maybe he goes back to defensive line coach. Sure, if that's what the new head coach and new GM wants, if he interviews well for the position and he wants to go back and coach defensive line, sure, I'll be okay with that. But I don't know, man. There's still very basic things that he could be doing to improve this defense, especially run defense, that he's just not doing. And yes, he is not given a whole lot to work with whatsoever. The personnel on the defense needs to be completely changed, but there's still some schematic things that I would like to see him do that he hasn't. And he's a young guy, you know. He's gonna improve, but right now we need someone that's gonna build a defense that knows how to build a defense from the ground up. Someone like a Matt Eberflus, someone like a Robert Saleh, and I just don't see that being Anthony Weaver at the moment. Thoughts on John Dorsey? Yes, so if you guys haven't seen, there's reports, rumors that the Texans, one of their GM candidates is John Dorsey, and John Dorsey's he's a great GM candidate in my opinion. I think. You look at the job that he's done with the Chiefs, with the Browns, like the one thing about him is he's aggressive. He will be aggressive. Maybe sometimes a little bit too aggressive in trading capital, but he will know how to attack a team's weaknesses, whether it's through the draft, free agency, trades, and he will look to improve that. So I like that they're looking at. He definitely should be one of the top options. Anthony Meyer, this one hurts, man. Deshaun makes people around him better. We saw that on offense today. Yeah, we saw Deshaun can elevate talent. That is the thing. Like elite quarterbacks, they elevate the talent of a team, and Deshaun did that today. Today was the best example. I've been talking before about like, hey, we gotta wait on the talk that like the Texans have an elite offense. We gotta wait on it just until we see the Colts game and we see the Colts and the Bears and against an elite defense, right? That's what I was saying. We gotta wait because we were beating up on the Lions, the Jags, the Patriots. They all got shitty defenses, but today proved it. Today proved that Deshaun can elevate the talent around him, can elevate a shitty scheme. He is elite of the elite, like MVP caliber for sure. There's no more questions about that, I believe. Like, he really did that. Like, that is very hard to do. And again, like, you look at the win, like, people are going to play, oh, well, he's on a losing team. He's not winning. He clearly can't be that good of an MVP candidate. There is so much chaos around him so much ineptitude and mediocrity that is dragging him down. This is not his fault that he is losing games. That's for sure. What else? What else? Purge's staff. I feel that when you might Eberflus, wouldn't mind him at all. He showed out today. Look at the second adjustments Nick Eberflus was able to make, and it shut down our offense in the second half. Wouldn't it be smarter to trade Roby over cutting him next year? Yeah, if we can get anything for him, maybe a 4th round pick, maybe a 3rd. I don't know. Teams are gonna be very wary of his kind of culture for their team, right? Martin is bad. O-line is inconsistent. Absolutely. Thank God we got Laramie Tunsil. And Titus Howard, because the rest of the offense line talk trash. Did he rank on your list of head coach candidates? I get the hype behind Joe Brady, but I just think it's too early for him right now. I think, sure, in 3-5 years, he'll be a great head coach. But do you want to be taking that risk on someone this early in his career when he had the experience of some of the other guys? He doesn't have the experience of a Bieniemy. He doesn't have the experience of a Daboll, some other offensive geniuses, right? And so I like him a lot. I like what he's done with LSU, with the Saints, and with Carolina. But he's really only had this 1 year as an actual NFL offensive coordinator. And his other years with LSU and the Saints, he was a passing game coordinator. He wasn't a full offensive coordinator. And so taking that step, like, yeah, he's been great. Show he can take that step to OC, but taking the step to a head coach is a whole nother level. That involves so much more of like running the team, building a culture, holding people accountable. And I just don't think that we know enough about him to say that he'll be great at that job right away. So I guess where he would rank is out of the top 5 for me. I'll put it that way. He's out of the top 5. 7, yeah, something like 7. Enrique Garza, thoughts on who should be our head coach? I like Robert Saleh and Eric. Yep, those are my top 2 guys as of right now. The order, honestly, it flips a lot as I do more research, as I learn more things about them, as I talk to more Niners fans and more Chiefs fans. I've heard a lot of positives and negatives from both, so it's gonna change a lot, to be honest. But those are my top 2 guys. After that, Brian Daboll, Matt Eberflus. I don't mind Todd Bowles, but he's not that high. And then Joe Brady, yeah. And then maybe some college guys. Yeah. When Deshaun threw on that towel, when he didn't go shake hands, when he called it quits, I felt that. That was a big mood. I mean, he probably feels devastated because the team lost him the damn game again. We are finding new ways these games for Deshaun. Usually it's the damn defense that can't hold a single drive. But today, Nick Martin, man. Nick Martin, a new one. And let me tell y'all, if Nick Martin and Zach Fulton are starting on the Texans offensive line next year, we got problems. We've got problems because they cannot step up. They're not NFL starter level caliber offensive linemen. And Martin choked the game away today. Simple as that. I felt him. Yeah, Ed Dodds. That's what I really wanted to label this. But Bieniemy as head coach and Borgonzi as our GM. I love that combo. It'd be more attractive for them to come together because they already know how each other work. That'd be solid. So yeah, Bieniemy, a good like head coach GM combos. Eric B, Mike Borgonzi. You also got Ed Dodds and Matt Eberflus. That would be a good combo as well. Who's my number one as of right now? It is Eric Bieniemy. I think we've just been overanalyzing and overthinking him a whole ton. But yeah, right now it's my number one is Eric Bieniemy. I'm sorry. I don't know why. My Wi-Fi has been horrible today. I'm going to try and fix that for the next stream. I apologize. I know I'm not the greatest thing to watch, but hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try and get that fixed next time. Being a Seahawks fan now, give me a reason to stay. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, the season's basically over. We might as well the rest of the season like watch other teams, watch other schemes, watch the Chiefs scheme, watch the Niners defense, watch the Bills offense for Daboll, watch the Panthers offense for Brady. Just watch and enjoy other non-horrible NFL franchises. The offense had 4+ turnovers and didn't do anything with opportunities. I get it was blown by the center, messed up, but we did have to score. Yeah, the offense, it could have been better, and I think that just there's only so much you can ask for out of an offense missing your top 2 wide receivers in Fuller and Cobb, and going up against an elite defense with the Colts. Like, we made them kind of look not so elite today but that was more of Deshaun's greatness than the Colts not being a good defense. Like, let's remember the Colts are a top 5 defense. And so we're not going to convert on every single opportunity we had. I agree in the second half, like, it got ugly, but I don't think Deshaun is really to blame for that. They said we got the same problems when we had Deshaun here. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead because I'm behind on these comments. Do you think Cal will actually listen to the players and who they want as a coach? I think the only players, I guess, who has a say is Deshaun Watson and JJ Watt. I think that's the only players that will have a say on the future head coach, and kind of rightfully so, to be honest. Will those 2 players ask the other players in the locker room kind of who they want? Will they ask the Laramie Tunsil's, the Titus Howards, the Justin Reeds, the Zach Cunninghams? Maybe, but it really should be Deshaun Watson who has the say. But do you think we should keep Kaimi Fairbairn, or should we cut ties with him? I don't know. I got to look at his contract. Let me look at his contract real quick. If we cut him with minimal dead cap, we might have to do that because this man cannot make a field goal over. Rivers McCown, great writer, great person to cover the Texans. He threw out the stat that he is 13 for 21 on field goals greater than 50 yards. 13 for 21, and that's 62%. And he hit one today and he missed one today, and that was very frustrating. And that's just not a good percentage. And when you can't rely on your kicker from there, it makes those decisions very, very tough. So I'm looking at his Fairbairn's contract situation right now, and yeah, we can't cut him. We're going to take a $4.25 million dead cap hit. It's just not worth it. In 2022, we have a potential out for $1.5 million, but it looks like we're going to have to hold on to Fairbairn for now. Oh my goodness. Looking all that shit up probably just made my computer lag like something crazy. Do you think we should get as defensive coordinator next year? Okay, so I'll pose this situation right now. Let's say we hire Eric Bieniemy as our head coach. Who do I want as defensive coordinator? Well, the best option from him and from his kind of coaching connections is Carl Dunbar. And the 2 coached together when they were on the Vikings. And Carl Dunbar has had an insane resume as a defensive line coach. He is the current defensive line coach for the Steelers. And if you look up his resume, look up his accolades on the Steelers website, oh my goodness, this man has had success with defensive linemen wherever he went, with the Steelers, with the Jets, with the Vikings, everywhere. He even did it with Alabama, had some high first-round draft picks. Carl Dunbar would be my top choice for defensive coordinator. So was Nick Martin worth the contract? Hell no. Nick Martin was not worth the contract. Last year, I made a film breakdown on him, and he was all right. He was all right, not worth the money, but he was still like decent. He wasn't as bad as everyone was saying he was just last season. But this season, oh my goodness, he's regressed so much, and it's not worth it. And he's definitely a major cut candidate. Robert McCarron. Who you want as offensive coordinator next year? Well, ideally, right now, EB is my guy. And if he is hired as head coach, maybe he brings like the Chiefs like quarterback coach or the passing game coordinator to become the OC. But if we want to go a defensive route, and everyone will say like Robert Saleh, if you go Robert Saleh, he's got Mike LaFleur and some other dude, the passing game coordinator and the run game coordinator for the 49ers. I think it's like Mike McCagnon, something like that. And Mike LaFleur is the passing game coordinator. Those guys, one of those could be the offensive coordinator that he brings. And they're from the Shanahan tree, and that would be a solid offense to run. I don't want Robert Saleh because look at the talent around last year. He's a stacked defense. Definitely. I see where you come from, man. I see where you come from. But then if you look at this year, like he's making that Niners defense compete. They are horribly injury stricken. Yeah, they're not top of the league anymore, but they're not as bad as us. Right? We have like probably similar talent at this point. Maybe they have a little bit more, but they are out like 5 or 6 starters and they are competing. They are competing. And I like that. I think he shows a good ability to elevate talent. Yes, of course, he's going to be better with elite talent, but so is every defensive coordinator. Every coordinator needs some talent. Benemy also has a very good history. Yep, he's been a running back coach for most of his career. You look at guys like Damian Williams was undrafted and how he's helping Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well. Like he can coach up running backs, he can improve with their vision, and that sort of stuff within the scheme. So I think that would definitely be helpful. But impressed by Chad Hansen. Oh yeah, Chad Hansen. About like his speed, that was kind of the big draw, and he's got some decent size to him. That was kind of the big draw out of him. I just like how he's able to get open later in the plays and kind of just always be there for Deshaun. There were so many plays today where Deshaun was just scrambling like a madman and extending the play, and Chad Hansen, he was just a really good understanding of finding the holes in the Colts zone, and I think that has a lot of value for a mobile quarterback like Deshaun. Where do you see Kiki on this team next year? I think he's still going to be in that wide receiver 4, kind of wide receiver 5 role. Just because Cobb, his contract is a little bit harder to get rid of. There's a lot of dead cap with that. And so he's going to be penciled in as the starter at the slot position. But Kiki will be a very, very valuable backup. Depending on the next head coach and GM, the next head coach likes to run a lot of empty sets where we have 4 wide receivers on the field. And someone who does that is Brian Daboll of the Bills. If they do that, then Kiki could see a lot more snaps as that kind of second slot wide receiver. And that would be very valuable. Having a guy of his athleticism and explosiveness in the offense, that would be huge. Like he proved today that he's got a spot in this league, and Bill O'Brien was just holding him back. And now that he's got a time to shine and work through his mistakes, like I think he can be a very valuable piece. John Dorsey, yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I like it. He's an aggressive dude. I think there's going to be tons of options out there, and it's great to interview as many people as possible. I think he's very aggressive with the moves that he'll go and make, and I like that. We need aggressiveness. We need a better kick returner and punt returner. Absolutely. Process was cool, but that kind of position is something that like you can find later in the draft or really cheap free agents. Like I hear you. It just shouldn't be like that big of a priority, but it'll definitely help our game a lot. Love talking Texans football all day, but at the end of the day, I just want to shut up all the haters and win when it matters. I feel you, Casey. I feel you big time. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. People will say like, why don't Houston sports get enough recognition? And a lot of the answers I hear is because we don't win at a high level. We don't win on the big stages. And it frustrated me. It really frustrated me dealing with that idea, because now we're seeing it and it's true. Like we can't win at the big levels. We can't win when it matters most. And that is really painful reality to live with. And I hope that is something that should be changing with Deshaun and with this new regime. I mean, I'm so excited for this offseason. I am so damn excited for this offseason and to see change. I want to see the entire franchise just wipe the slate clean. Get everyone in like a coaching role, an executive role, push them out. Have so many new guys on defense, on offense. Like, I'm so excited for it. If you could only pick one, would you rather have a number 1 corner or a number 1 offensive lineman? I'd rather have a number 1 corner because I think it's easier to scheme around a poor offensive line than it is to scheme around a shitty cornerback. We're seeing that we cannot scheme around a shitty cornerback. We cannot hide Vernon Hargreaves. We cannot hide Phillip Gaines. And so definitely having a number 1 cornerback for this defense would work wonders. I don't know why we didn't go after James Bradbury in free agency. I don't know why either. I love James Bradbury. He's a great zone cornerback. He's a great playmaker too. He makes plays. He gets interceptions. He knows how to play the ball for sure. Don't crucify me. What was wrong with the snap? Too low? Yeah. So, I mean, like, not everyone's gonna has seen the snap. Not everyone maybe understands it, but yeah, the snap was too low, and it was either off to the left or to the right. I don't remember exactly, but it was just inaccurate. It was inaccurate, and yeah, maybe like it's not 100%. Like Deshaun isn't 100% fault free on that one particular play, but like Nick Martin was having horrible snaps all day long. He should have adjusted by then, and he choked. Hayes has a good game against a good defense. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways is like this happened against an elite defense. It should have been the day for Coulter. Oh man, if Coulter was in Hanson's position, man, he balled out like this, I would have been so hype for him. So hype. His time will come. I get them not wanting to rush him in against an elite defense. He would have been probably a little deer in the headlights moment. Hanson and Stevie Mitchell, they knew the offense better. They knew the offense. They've been in it for longer. So I get it, as frustrating as it is. We should have lost, but good games. That's fair. We didn't play that well in the second half, but it's so frustrating because it's just frustrating because we were right there. We saw the dub. It was in our hands. We had it, 2-yard line, and that's the frustrating part because they really made us believe there for a second. Should we bring Fuller? Should we re-sign Fuller or bring in Allen Robinson if he doesn't re-sign? I would love Allen Robinson. You get them at the same price. Give me Allen Robinson. He's a lot more proven, a lot more consistent. He's a legit wide receiver one. He is DeAndre Hopkins, basically. And he needs an elite quarterback like Deshaun Watson. If they get paired together, that is insane. But I really think Fuller is going to be back with Deshaun's comments of wanting him back. So I don't think the new head coach or GM is going to get rid of him. 10-year-old is better cousin. Oh my God, I can't speak. My 10-year-old cousin is better snapper than Nick. I believe it. I don't even need to see it. I believe it. We need to keep our wide receiver corp and build an offensive line and defense. I feel you. I think that's a great path. I call it kind of like the run path or back with Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, and Will Fuller. Keep the chemistry and the continuity with Deshaun Watson that he's clearly showing he can ball out with them. Build the offensive line, get starters on the interior of the offensive line, and build that defense. Pour all your draft resources, pour your free agency money into that defense. Cut the dead cap, dead weight guys. Cut the Benardic McKinneys, the Whitney Mercilesses. Use that money and pay guys who will actually be worth their contract. It's not that hard. Easterby's for sure not coming back next year in the front office. He's not going to have the GM role, but he's still going to be there. He's signed a contract for, I think, at least 3 more years. So he's going to be there in some sort of fashion. Will he be? Will he have an input on football personnel decisions? We don't know yet, and that is up to the new GM. That is what Cal McNair said. What cornerback should we get in free agency? Top guy, if you want to go after a legit cornerback one, is William Jackson III, cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's an absolute beast. He plays man coverage really well. He's an athletic dude. He's got good size. He's pretty solid in the zone as well. The only thing is that he's going to want the bag. And we're going to have to open up some cap space for him, but it's doable. We got some flexibility. And if you want to go after a nice young cornerback one, go after William Jackson. Texans can make another cornerback signing from Cincinnati, and we know how well it went. So definitely would be down for him. Some other cheaper guys. I like Brian Poole from the Jets. I think it's Mike Hilton from the Steelers. Those would be some cheaper options. I'll be making a video for sure on free agent targets for like each position later once the season's over for sure. Got you guys. What do you think our run game will look like next season? That is a tough question, Father Griffin. That is a tough question because we don't know the head coach. We don't know if they're going to want a zone scheme or a power scheme. We don't know which starters are going to return, if Fulton's going to return or Martin's going to return. Is a whole lot of questions right now. I do think David Johnson will not be the running back of this team going forward. I don't think he will be the running back one. I think he showed enough on tape that he's not fit out for that role. So that's kind of the certainty that I can tell you. Well, no, Isaiah Coulter, I guess they don't want to just throw him out to the dogs against an elite defense with the Colts. And Chad Hansen, they made the right decision. Like, can we blame them for making the right decision with Chad Hansen? No, because he balled out with the limited snaps that he had. All right, we're at half an hour now. Probably going to do this another 15 more minutes, just answer y'all's questions. I really do appreciate all y'all coming out to the stream. Thank you. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Can we cut Cooks with no penalty and then re-sign him cheaper? Yeah, we can do that. It'd be kind of like a dick move on our parts just to go about it that way, but we can restructure him where we give him more guaranteed money, but at a lower cap hit. And I think that's a very realistic possibility with him. The only thing that worries me is just his whole concussion situation, but he's shown that he can be a great wide receiver too. Oh yeah. And then the other thing with Brandon Cooks and me is I think we kind of need a different type of wide receiver than Brandon Cooks. Like we have the speed guy in Fuller, and we've shown this season that like having two elite speed guys, it can be great, but it's not like we're touchdowns to Brandon Cooks all day long, right? I think another guy who still has some explosiveness, but maybe is also a good contested catch guy can play that same role and can still excel. So I think that's definitely something that Deshaun needs, someone he can throw it up to and just trust in those contested situations. William Jackson went to Houston. Yep. It'd be a nice little homecoming. Oh my God. I thought this was like DTS, like their whole motto of like tough, dependable, and smart. That bullshit. But you mean DTs. All right, DTs. I'll give you all some names in free agency, and I'll give you all some names in the draft. So in free agency, you've got Leonard Williams of the Giants. He'd be the top guy. I do think he'll return to the Giants though, but he's your best like mix of pass rushing and run stuffing. But then you also got another defensive tackle from the Giants, and that's Dalvin Tomlinson. He's more of in that nose tackle role that we drastically need. He'll take on doubles. He'll stuff the run. He won't get moved on the line of scrimmage, and that's something that we need for sure. And then as for the draft, there's some guys I like a lot. There's a freak athlete like Jalen Twyman. Go look him up. People compare him to Aaron Donald. I don't think he'll be as good, but he definitely does have the athleticism of that. I also like Marvin Wilson, Jordan Davis. Those guys are two good run stuffers. And yeah, I think the interior defensive line is a major need for us. Our number one need going into the offseason, in my opinion, is going to be defensive line. Whether that's an edge player or whether that's an interior player, we need a defensive lineman. We need a stud there because we are losing the game in the trenches. Carlos Hyde over David Johnson? Absolutely. Went with the comment show. There we go. What do you think next week will look against the Bears with their defense? Bears defense is legit as well. It is legit. But Deshaun is showing that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's an elite defense or not. He will ball out. He will step up to the table. And I have a feeling this game left a sour taste in his mouth. And so he's going to want to go out and he's going to want to go beat the living out of Chicago. Like, absolutely. He's going to want to prove to them that they should not have passed on him for Mitchell freaking Trubisky. Right? So I think he's going to ball out against Chicago. I think we'll see some similar production. I really hope so. Who will play the role of JJ next year? We all know he's not coming. I don't know. I know it's for sure not Whitney Merciless. I know that. I think our next JJ or whoever to step into that role of like our main pass rusher, he's not on the team now. I would love for it to be Jacob the Goat Martin. I would love for it to be Jonathan Grenard, but I think we need a proven veteran guy, and we can find that in free agency. Maybe it's Yannick Ngakoue. Maybe it's Bud Duke. Maybe it's Shaq Barrett. One of those guys, if we can give them the bag and come to Houston, like that would be amazing. Is it the most likely thing that'll happen? No, probably not, but that is the best of what should happen. I'm pretty proud of that defensive performance. We're totally one bad. Yeah, we had some very good drives. We had some very frustrating, especially stopping the run and stopping T.Y. Hilton. But overall, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't our worst game. It's been on fire all season. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Where is PJ Hall at? He's on IR. He had an injury, a season-ending surgery. That's where PJ Hall's at. Someday soon, you should come set up your shop in my man cave and do your live stream after a game. That would be legit. Free drinks and tax. Hey, Casey Gorman, I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I would love to do that. I'm from Canada, so that might be a little bit harder. But I always wanted to go to a game. That is my dream, literally my dream. I've always wanted to go to a game so badly, and hopefully one day I can make it happen once I get enough coin. D-line's middle of the pack. Yeah, it's pretty below average. Brandon Cooks went out for a while, absolutely. And Deshaun, don't matter. It don't matter. He's elevating the talent around him, and it don't matter. Aikens should be the number one tight end on this team. Yeah. Aikens, did he have today? I think he might have had one. But I really thought we were gonna go to him more with Fuller out. But hey, when Chad Hansen and QQ are balling, you keep calling their number. I get it. Justin Houston to Houston, you heard it first. Justin Houston's he's declining on his career. He's a little bit turning into a little washed, but he'd still be better than Wendy Merciless. No argument about that. No argument whatsoever. What do you think about the interception? Oh my god, I completely forgot about the interception. That was complete bullshit. I'm gonna get. Anyways, that was horrible. That was horrible. Cooks had possession of the ball. He was coming down, and his knees hit. I'm pretty sure, and that's when Kenny Moore started to get the ball out, to rip it out, and good play by Kenny Moore. Hell of a play. He should deserve props, but that is just a horrible call by the refs. Horrible. Oh my goodness. We got screwed over with that. Screwed over for sure. How do I feel about Chad Hansen? I like him. It's a one game sample size, so we gotta be wary. We gotta be a little wary, but I was very encouraged by what I saw. Is Sharping legit our best interior lineman at the moment? Honestly, at the moment, Sharping's been playing bad. He gave up a tackle for loss early in the game, and he got pulled for Clemente. And that's frustrating. And that's really frustrating because you can't just keep hurting a young guy's confidence like this, yanking him in and out of the lineup. Him stay in it and let him learn his mistakes and improve. That's the only way it's going to happen. There's a post-game presser quote talking about like just building that confidence, just getting back on my feet, something like that. And you cannot be doing that to a second-year offensive lineman. He's not playing that well. Not playing the best tier offensive lineman. Honestly, that might be Clemente, which is horrible to say. But I think we need to give him the time and the patience to develop and learn from his mistakes. You become a Texans fan if you live in Canada? Honestly, I wish I had a great story. I wish I had some amazing story or a life-changing moment. But honestly, just the first football game I've ever watched was the Texans game. And I don't know why they're playing primetime. It was Texans-Titans, I believe. And Arian Foster and Andre Johnson, man. Ooh, they were wiping the floor with Titans. And they just made the game seem so fun to watch. And so they made me fall in love with the game. Watched them ever since. They're my favorite players. Like Arian Foster is the OG goat me. And yeah, that's what made me fall in love with them. How's a Canadian wind up with Texas? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty random. Everyone always I wish I had an amazing story, but this is a win with everyone healthy and no suspensions. I think so. I don't know, man. Probably. The game probably wouldn't have been as close. We wouldn't have been in a situation where Nick Martin had to fumble the game away. The offense definitely, I don't think would have been scoreless in the second half if we had Will Fuller, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Tried Hansen today. Next week we should try Coulter. Honestly, I'd be okay with like holding out Brandon Cooks the rest of the season. Like I don't want him getting another concussion. I'd be okay with going full use movement. Chad Hansen and Isaiah Coulter on the outside and put Kiki in the slot. Just try it out. YOLO it. The season's over, man. Season's over. Just try it. Preserve Brandon health right now because he's one concussion away from being out of the league. And that is very scary for him and for the team. Kyle should have had a touchdown, but he has no hands. Targets. 2 targets on the year. And they both went off his hands. The second one against Kenny Moore was good defense by him, but you got a size advantage against a 5'9" cornerback in Kenny Moore. You got to be more physical and go up and get that ball. You can't let it come to you, and you can't let it give the time for the DB to get in front of it. You got to go get it. Why do the Texans cut Stills? So yeah, people like talk about like the timing of the Texans cutting Stills. Like, oh, why don't we just wait till the end of the season when he's a free agent and we just lose him anyway? Right? But it's really more about us knowing that this season is kind of it for us, and there's not really any point for a veteran wide receiver like Stills who is in contract with us for the future, and so we're giving him an opportunity to number one play for a contender and try and compete and actually win because a losing season like this for a veteran like him who's used to winning, right? And then number two, it's also to give himself a chance to have a bigger role where he's going to actually get snaps and he can kind of show out and play out for the rest of the NFL, so that when he enters free agency, he has some stuff to show, like, hey, I still got game. Don't worry, even though this season the Texans was losing, like, look at what I did with the Packers, right? I still got game. You should sign me, right? So we're trying to just give him the best situation possible so that he can get paid and be in a better situation. I think it was a class act by the organization and trying to kind of just do him right. But you think the Titans are frauds? Oh yeah, I will always say that the Titans are frauds. Nah, but I said it last year. I think the Titans are frauds. I'll say it again this year. They in very particular ways where they dominate the run game, they get a lead, they have some nice play action passes, and they build a lead and they just kind of sustain that and they just run Derrick Henry. But if they ever get behind, they're kind of screwed. They can't play from behind. And I think they're frauds. I don't think that their style of game will kind of win at the highest levels in the playoffs. And so they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they go far whatsoever. I'm just glad the team never gave up. That's true. That's true. This team up on the rack, you can tell that they're trying to play hard. They are. Sucks to be a Texans fan. Yep. That's the mood. That's a big mood, man. It's pain. It's Spain without the S. It's Spain without the S, man. He'll be better next season. I hope so. If y'all are Colts fans, congrats on the dub. I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully it'll go different. Let's play Romeo Crennel center. Honestly, he can snap a better ball than Nick Martin. He can probably snap a better ball. As a Browns fan, we got Browns fans in here. Kyle Harris, you a Browns fan? Appreciate you coming through for the stream. Go Browns, 9-3. Hey, fuck. Fuck. Oh my God, I'm doing such a bad job of not swearing and getting demonetized. But screw the Titans. Go Browns. Go Browns. Crennel fullback. Let's try it. Throw the man out there. Let's try it. You said it. You said it, not me. Cut Nick Martin. Absolutely. He should not be on this team next season. If he's on this team, that is a huge mistake, a tragedy, and he's just going to continue to lose his games. As simple as it is. Simple as it is. And it's not even like that one bad snap was the only bad thing this game. If that was the only bad thing, I would not be bashing on him. But he's shown over his entire career that he is a below average center. And now he's getting overpaid, and now he's making big mistakes like this. And he made mistakes all throughout that Colts game. He was horrible. It's not just one play. It's his entire career. And he's just, it's too late now. Play JJ, tight end. Wouldn't mind that. Let's see it. Yeah, I never seen him on the bench that sad, man. Never seen him on the bench that sad. But all right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Appreciate y'all so much for coming out for the live stream. If this is something that you like me doing, make sure to let me know in the comments, in the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you want future live streams, for sure. I'll have a film breakdown out on the game. Try and get it out to you Monday. Or sorry, not Monday at all. I got a final on Monday. Try and get you out on Wednesday. Maybe I can do it Tuesday, but likely Wednesday. That was film breakdown. And yeah, check out the rest of the channel. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't. Check out Texans Unfiltered. I write articles for them. I'm on the podcast for them. All those will be linked in the description or on the channel and other videos. So yeah, for sure. Appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you, Father Griffin. Appreciate you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that reminds me. If you want exclusive content, if you want exclusive videos, and let me get to that spiel later. But my guy Cody, how you doing? I've literally never been as angry as I lost before. I feel you on that. I feel you so hard. We were right there. We were right there, Cody. We were right there. We were right there. We should have had it. Nick Martin, man. Nick Martin. Cody he made a beautiful website, Texans Unfiltered. Appreciate him. And yeah, he does. There's a lot of, he's a guy behind the scenes, but yeah. All All right, that's going to do it for the video. Oh yeah, last thing I was going to mention is Texans Slots team. If you want to join the team, hit the join button below the video. You get exclusive monthly video. You get access to an exclusive Discord where you can ask me any questions. We talk on game days live, stuff like that. You have input on videos, which you want to see on the channel, stuff like that. So yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you all for coming out for the stream, and hopefully you have a good rest of the day. Hopefully you can get this iron and enjoy and have a good week. All right. See ya.